Good day, everybody, fellow educators. Welcome to the 11th wave of free webinars sponsored by the Asia Pacific Association of Educators Training Institute. Great thanks to our dear CEO, President Doc Cal, for this opportunity. I'm Dr. Arnel E. Hanzola. I've been in the teaching profession for over 18 years already, and 13 years have been spent teaching overseas. And I am now on my 14th year teaching undergraduate and graduate speech communication, written business communication, advanced business communication, and advanced technical communication courses of a Chinese foreign institution of higher learning in China, Jilin University, Lambton College. And at the same time, I am the head of the EFL department of the university, leading over 20 international EFL faculty members of our institution. So before we dive right into my presentation, I would like to invite everybody to register, subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel and evaluate the presentation at the end. So you will receive your certificate after submitting the evaluation at the end of the presentation. Thank you. Allow me to share with you some of my photos back at my institution in China with some of my colleagues in the EFL and the academic department. So my task today is to discuss with you one of the digital platforms that I have been using teaching remotely, since my students, undergraduate and graduate students, are all based in different cities across mainland China. So specifically for my presentation, I will talk about engaging students in the new normal using Class Dojo. Apart from utilizing Zoom and Tencent for synchronous discussion, I have been using a number of digital tools for asynchronous learning, and one of these tools is Class Dojo. So we will briefly talk about Class Dojo as an online platform used to support teaching and learning, a quick guide to get started, and its features used to engage students. Teaching in the time of pandemic is indeed very challenging. Engaging our students is one of the issues we need to deal with as educators. So what is student engagement and why is it important? Student engagement is or has been viewed as one of the keys in addressing problems pertaining to low achievement, boredom, alienation, and high dropouts. It is a multifaceted construct that is generally referred to as meaningful student involvement throughout the learning environment. So it is essentially the level of attention, consideration, curiosity, interest, focus, and enthusiasm the students show when they are learning or being taught. When we talk about student engagement, we typically cover the three dimensions of student engagement. Okay, so these are the affective, the behavioral, and the cognitive engagements. So briefly, let's go over each one of these. When we talk about affective engagement, or also referred to as emotional engagement, it focuses on the extent and nature of positive and negative reactions to teachers, classmates, academics, and school. Even if instruction in the new normal is delivered online for the most part, affective engagement plays a role. Using any of the available online tools we have at hand, how do we ensure that students feel they belong in a virtual learning environment that is non-threatening? Affective engagement refers to the feelings of students, sense of acknowledgement, and belonging. How about behavioral engagement? So this one focuses on participation in academic, social, and co-curricular activities. Behavioral engagement is just as important. How do we engage students to become active participants in the learning process and encourage them to take responsibility for their learning? Behavioral engagement follows from students being cognizant of the expectation, what they can and should do, and feeling encouraged to take initiative. And the last one, it's the cognitive engagement. This one focuses on students' level of investment in learning. It refers to the intrinsic motivation and interests students have in their study, as well as the extent to which they use self-regulation strategies such as planning, goal setting, and self-monitoring. How do we get them interested in what is being taught? Do we provide clear information and communication in a way that students understand the purpose and see a purpose? For my introduction, I shared with you that I teach remotely and that my students are all based in mainland China. Knowing our students individually is a significant part of getting them engaged. So this is when Class Dojo came in the picture. For the information of everybody, due to some restrictions, mainstream media like Facebook, Google Classroom, YouTube, Twitter, and so on are not accessible in mainland China. So alternatives that are not blocked have been explored like Class Dojo. So what is Class Dojo and how does it work? So Class Dojo is an educational technology company. It is a school communication platform offering collaboration and coaching tools to schools and teachers. It enables content sharing, distribution of lessons, links, assignments, and so on. It is a blended learning environment that allows online collaboration and interaction. So it's a school communication platform that teachers, students, and families use every day to build close-knit communities by sharing what's being learned in the classroom through photos, videos, and messages. Probably one of our questions is it free? Absolutely. So Class Dojo is free. Class Dojo is a safe and simple communication app for teachers and students and even parents. So it is free for everybody. It works on all devices like iPhones, iPads, tablets, phones, and smartboards. So before integrating this into my lessons, I spent a session discussing how Class Dojo works and what it's for with my students before asking them to join and before assigning them tasks using the app. I always believe that students are engaged when they are made aware of the expectations and they know what to do and the purpose of a particular task being assigned to them. So here's how to get started. So getting started with Class Dojo is easy. Okay, so all you have to do is to set up a teacher account, add students, and then you are ready to use its features to engage your students. Class Dojo is available on all devices, desktop computers, mobile phones, and tablets. It is available in both iOS and Android, and students using any type of phones would be able to download the app and get connected to you. If you have all devices, you can use them interchangeably so you are connected to your class anytime and anywhere. So simply go to the Class Dojo page, which is classdojo.com. So whether you sign up from the web or using your mobile phones or tablets, it's going to be the same information that will be asked of you. All you have to do is just to click teacher. So select teacher and enter your personal information and then click sign up. Pretty easy. Okay, so essentially your name, your first name, your email address, and then the password, and then you're ready to click sign up to join and to register an account with Class Dojo. So once you successfully register your account, you are now in, and the next step to do is to join your school by entering the name of the school, selecting the matching school listing from the school list, and then click on join the school. Now, if you cannot find the school because nobody has ever joined yet, all you have to do is click cannot find school, add it now, and if it's not in the search results, then you have to type it up and register the school right there. Once you have successfully joined your school, you will be directed to your teacher homepage. So in my case, for example, when I sign up an account, I get to see the name of the school right over there, Chilean University Lambton College. So I'm ready to do it. Otherwise, okay, so if you can't find it there, for example, I typed Asia Pacific Association of Educators Training Institute, and it's not in there, just add the school right there. And after doing so, you will be directed to your teacher homepage. And once in, you are ready to add or create a class. So all you have to do is to click on the new class tile, enter a name for your class, select your class grade level or year, and choose your sharing points reference. And once finished, click the blue Create Class button from your new class, click on the Add Student Style. So if you look at the screen right now, I have given you the sample. So for example, the class name is EAP for 100 English for academic purposes. And then you choose the grade level there, grades 1, 2, 3. If it's not in the list, you can click other, and then you can click, you have 3 options for the sharing points, okay? So you can involve the parents. So some teachers using Class Dojo in the basic education, they try to involve the parents to be part of it. So if you wanted to, later on, I'm going to be explaining to you the point system as one of the engaging features of Class Dojo. And that's basically one of the features in which you can also involve the parents, in which they can see how their kids are doing in their class. Okay, so how do you add students? All right, so all you have to do is enter a student's first and last name. You'll see a drop-down menu appear. If there's a matching student in the student directory, you'll see a matches from school directory notice above the name of the student and the name of the last class the student was in or the current class they are in. So below that, like right now on the screen, you get to see there will be an add student's name option. So if the student's name is not there or you don't have a school's directory ready for you to be able to get the students into your class, then just type it up. And using that add student's name option, add the student. So selecting the option with the class name will import from the school directory. Selecting the add student's name option will add a student as new student. If you're connected to a school, students who are already in your school directory should auto-populate as you enter the first few letters of their name. Otherwise, just add them on your list. Now, if you have so you have added, for example, that student in the list, Jerry Sun, and then save that up. And if you have a class list ready, you can copy and paste it using this tool. So you get to see that on the screen right now. You can either do it from Word or Excel and then click Import List. Okay, so like in my case, because I have all of them in China, so I have the pinyin names of my students. So all you have to do is to copy paste import list, and then you have to confirm if the first names and the last names are correct, and then you can click continue and press save, and that will add all your students into your list. You can create as many virtual classes as you need. So now you have your class ready, you have all your students there. The question is, how will your students join or log in? Okay, so they can log in 3 ways. They can scan the QR code, enter the text code, or sign in with Google. So they can log in by scanning your class QR code. QR stands for quick response. So that's the class quick response code. This is recommended for camera-enabled devices. They can also log in by typing a 6-character code, and this is recommended for devices without camera. And they can also sign in with Google. So this is recommended for students with their own Google accounts. And now you're ready to explore the cool features of Class Dojo for student engagement. Class Dojo has a lot of features to engage your students. Among these are customizable student icons, point system, toolkit, and student portfolios. So let's talk about each one of these briefly so you will have an idea how I use it in the classes or how you can use it in our classes. Let's look at the customizable student icons. Class Dojo comes with lots of icon packs. You know, the cute little monsters are the theme of Class Dojo. They also have critters and some festival theme icons. Students will enjoy looking for the icon they'd like to choose for themselves, and I have seen it myself. So how do you do this? Start by opening your class and then navigate to options. And there we go. So go to options and then edit class. So select the students tab and you will see a list of the students within that class. All right, there we go. And then select a student with the left click and you'll see a select monster for students name window pop up. Okay, so there we go. So once you pick one of those students, that's what you get to see. So your students, they are able to change that. They can also create their own icons, their own avatar. So select the avatar from the list and finish off by clicking done in the bottom right corner of the window. Now, so that's the avatar of that student, and you get to see now the drop-down menus in which students, you or the students can choose the avatar, the icon they wanted to use for themselves, okay, in our class, for their class, the Class Dojo you created for the class. So you have all those choices. Now, if these presets are not enough, you as a teacher can also upload files to suit your class interests. So all you have to do is just to click create new set. It's right at the bottom of the drop-down menu, and then upload the icons you want added and then save set. Okay, so for instance, I wanted to add superhero icons. Okay, so I have typed up there superheroes and then click create monster sets, and it's added. And the next step to do is to upload the monsters related to superheroes. So you might as well have it ready. All right. Now, students find this a fun learning experience because they are provided opportunities to make choices, since a pool of icons they can choose from is made available for them, and they are creatively engaged since they too can create their own icon or avatar. Now let's move on to point system, okay, one of the features that I also enjoy using for my classes. Another engaging feature of Class Dojo is how it provides us teachers the tool to award points for students being able to accomplish or fulfill a particular task. Class Dojo gives us the autonomy to decide what behaviors we are looking out for and how much points to give and even deduct. So what we need to do is simply to go to options and click edit class and then go to skills. How do students earn points? So students earn points for their participation. Okay, so if you look at the skills that I have there, these are only sample skills and you can actually add more to the list. Okay, so the students earn points for their participation as one example. If they're on task, if they're dedicated, if they work hard, or you can also add more to that list. So to add, simply click add skill. So right there, you get to see now that particular button that I am referring to. So assuming that you wanted to add the best speller, for example, as one of the skills you want added. So just type it up and assign a specific point for it. Okay, so write best speller as one of the skills you wanted to be added, and then use the point weight drop-down menu to select a value and then click save. All right, so now you see there, the best speller is added. Now, should you want to adjust the value of any of the existing skills, just find the skill you want to adjust the value and click on it and then save. You can have as many as you want, depending on the objectives of the lesson and the behaviors or skills you expect students to achieve and demonstrate at the end of the course. This is also particularly useful and engaging since not only positive behavior is awarded, but areas for improvement are also emphasized. Areas needing work can also be added, providing students the opportunity to look into what needs more work. Now, how do you award students points for demonstrating a skill or accomplishing a particular task? So right now on the screen, you are looking at students and their corresponding points that they earned already. So how do we award points? To award points or appoint students, all you have to do is to open a class, and then click a specific student you want awarded, and then select a given skill, and the corresponding points are automatically added to that particular student's existing point. So I click, for example, Jerry being one of the students in that class because I wanted to award him points. So I can choose from one of these skills that I have there in that particular class. So you can notice, for example, helping others, there's only 1 point in there. This is just a sample. So it depends on the points that you wanted to be attached to that particular skill. It's your choice as a teacher. So right there, if I wanted, for example, to award Jerry another recommendation and award for being on task, for instance, automatically that adds up to the points he already earned. Points, my dear teachers, can be a massive motivational tool. Giving our students points each time they demonstrate a skill or fulfill a task, students show more interest and increased participation in everyday classroom tasks and responsibilities. Now, another very engaging and useful feature of Class Dojo is the toolkit. And within that, there are other 8 features you can use for your classes to engage the students and to get them on their toes to participate in each and every lesson that you have. So another engaging feature of Class Dojo that teachers can explore and use is the toolkit. It is the latest offering of Class Dojo, which helps teachers make classroom management easier. It offers a variety of convenient, useful, and engaging features all in one. So by opening a specific class, you can find a toolkit in the bottom left corner of your screen. So you can see it right now. And from there, you will have access to the full suite of toolkit features. Okay, so what are they? Timer, random, group maker, noise meter, directions, think, pair, share, today, and then music. So let's talk each one of them very briefly. So let's have the group maker. What is it for? This feature allows you to randomly generate student groups of any size, all with one tap. You can also create sets of students that don't want to be grouped together. So at times we assign tasks to students in which we want them to be accomplished in teams or in groups. Okay, so sometimes it takes time doing that, but with the help of Class Dojo's group maker feature, you're able to do it in a snap. All right, so for instance, if I wanted to group my students in teams of 3, so it's pretty easy. I just click in the group maker 3 and it provides me randomly the groupings that I needed. Second is music. It sets the tone in our classroom with the perfect tunes for any activity. So you can play music that helps students focus or make free time a little more fun. So one of the ways that I use this is I play as a background music when, say, for example, my students are being asked to do some written task, for instance. I also use this during break time. Say we have a 10-minute break and I play music as a background. Okay, so let's have a sample of that and how it works. All right, so that's for music. And the other feature of the toolkit is the noise meter. This one shows students when they are being disruptive or maybe not rowdy enough. So like all tools, the noise meter will display in our projector or smart board. All right, what about the next one? It's a timer. Okay, so this feature under the toolkit, it keeps your class focused and aware of time remaining for any activity. If you need more time, for example, or extend the time allotted for an assigned task, just add 10 seconds or more with just a single tap. Okay, so let's look at it and see how it works. If you think you need more time to do the task, for example, for the students to be able to accomplish the task, just add 10 or more. And it tells you when the time is over. Okay, that's for the timer. And the next feature of the toolkit is the day. And what is the day? Today is a feature that displays daily announcements. It's also a welcome message or morning word to start the day on the right foot. Students find this useful and effective since teachers can post what submissions are due or what tasks are expected to be done by the students. So for example, if you wanted to write their expected tasks that they need to do, you can put it right there so students would have an idea what they need to submit or comply, okay, for that particular day or for that particular session. So in one of my classes, for example, September 28, 2020, it's a Monday. So I have that in my today feature. Do things in there, submit a 2-minute video reflection. And then after doing that, add to your student story. So my students basically know what I expect them to do on that day. Another feature under Toolkit is the random. So this feature of the toolkit allows you to select students at random with just a tap. So if you want to provide students the equal opportunity to be heard in the room, so this feature of Class Dojo allows you to randomly pick a student for any recitation, for any participation, for anything that you want them in the room to do, and then you can randomly pick a student. So you can use the random function to select a student at random. So this is also an EDI strategy, explicit direct instruction strategy. So essentially, this is how it works. So if you want to pick another student, just click pick again, and it will be randomly generated for you. All right, another feature under Toolkit is directions. So this one provides a clear visual reminder for what you want your students to do with this tool. No more repeating yourself multiple times. Students are engaged when they know what is expected and they know what and how to do the task. So this feature does just that. So students can read and revisit classroom directions. This is also very helpful and very engaging. At times, a lot of students would be asking you again, for example, after the class to send you messages and so on. But with this tool, they can always go back to it and see the directions you have provided and how to do it and so on. And another feature of the toolkit is the Think, Pair, Share feature. So this feature allows us to create a question for students to reflect and discuss in pairs. You can pose a prompt using this feature, have the students turn and share with a partner, and then watch the discussion unfold. So Think, Pair, Share is one of those empowering class discussion strategies that allows for students to have one-on-one conversations, collaborate together to solve harder problems, and hone their team building skills. With the Think, Pair, Share app, you can display a question or prompt to your students in just one tap. They then have the opportunity to pair up and share while you prepare for the follow-up lesson or questions. So dear teachers, with these features of Class Dojo's toolkit, they help teachers to keep students engaged and everyone involved. Now let's move on to student portfolio. So finally, another amazing feature of Class Dojo is the student portfolios. It's a digital student portfolio that allows teachers to assign activities, provide feedback, and look back on what the students have accomplished. It is a place for students to complete activities, share and submit work expected of them to fulfill in the form of a text, video, drawing, photo, or work can be submitted using a worksheet provided by the teacher. So students can add to their portfolio using Chromebooks, laptops, and iOS, Android devices. Teachers can view and approve student work on portfolios using any device. Students can create and upload photos, videos, drawings, and journal entries through Class Dojo, and can also upload Microsoft Office files, PDFs, and image files from any laptop computers. Teachers can also use activities to assign projects directly to student devices to which students can respond. So all you have to do, so it's right there, you get to see portfolios button. So simply open a class and then click the portfolio button that you have just seen, and then click create an activity. Enter an activity name. Teachers can either video record or write the instructions. So yeah, the choices right there. So you can video record the instruction, or you can write the instructions down or type it up. And you can select how you want students to respond to the activity and then tap assign class. Okay, so looking at the screen now, the sample, for example, is reading reflection, and the instructions record a 2 to 3 minute video containing your reaction about the article assigned to you last night. Okay, so once successfully assigned, this is what you will see on your screen. Okay, so it's already there. You can edit instructions if there is a need to, and then save once done. The activity that you create will be immediately assigned to your students, and it will appear under their to-dos in their account. You can tap on an activity in your queue to see which students have responded to the activity. You can also tap the edit button next to the gear icon on the activity to archive it or to delete it from your activity queue. You know, with my classes, every week each student is expected to submit a 2 to 3 minute video containing reaction about an article, a short video they need to watch, a short audio clip to listen to, or a visual prompt like a photograph as basis for their video recorded reaction and reflection. So Class Dojo provided me an excellent platform where these activities can be accomplished either individually or as a group. So I'll show you actual submissions from my classes. Okay, so MSDM 4060 self-introduction. So at the very beginning, one of the first few videos that I asked my students to do is to create a short video introduction, no more than 45 seconds to tell their professor, it's myself, a little bit about themselves, and then their expectations for the course. MSDM 4060 is Advanced Technical Communication course. So that's sample one. It's about the weekly recorded or video recorded reaction and reflection each student needs to submit. So all of the videos submitted by the students are all archived in their own account, meaning personal account, and teachers can also download them if needed, and you can also provide feedback to the students, individual student, and they get to see that as well. So one of the ways we can do to improve the learning environment, specifically the virtual classroom, is ensuring that it's engaging and interactive. You know, making the students sit down, listen, and watch your lecture each time is very disengaging. Even if classes, for the most part, are delivered virtually, there are plenty of ways we can do to engage and increase participation and interaction. Providing them hands-on activities and collaborative assignments using any of the digital tools assigned, for instance, Class Dojo, to get the work done, proved to be very engaging. So let's watch one of the sample submissions from one of my students.
Hi, Dr. Ji. I have already watched the video of your commencement speech at 2015. It is very inspiring, and I'm impressed by some of your words. In the video, you said, I hope the graduates can learn whatever you want to learn, do whatever you want to do in the future. And I quite agree with that. I think life has infinite possibilities, and we can have the capital to constantly challenge new things while we're young. Only through various challenges can we find the path that suits us best. During the 4-year study in Lambton College, I really realized what an international school brings to me. The diversified learning environment and the cultural exchange between my classmates and foreign teachers have made me grand in my world outlook and values, and make my thinking more comprehensive and profound.
So this is one of the requirements that I asked the students to do. So that particular example, it's a video reflection based on the video that I shared with my students about my commencement talk in last 2015. So let's look at sample two. So sample two, in one of the units of the course, we talked about idioms and expressions, and students were instructed to produce an authentic comic strip using any of the idioms and expressions taught, and then submit the same in a form of a photograph to Class Dojo. Okay, so the response to that particular task is the students have to submit them in a photograph form, but they have to incorporate other things that we have already done in the classroom. And I also shared with the students some of the apps they can use to create their comic strips, and they were very creative in doing so. And that's what I'm showing you now. Okay, comic strips made by the students, incorporating what they've learned in the room. So if you look at, for example, briefly, a conversation in that strip created by one of the students, I thought a way to get rich. And the other guy responded, I'm all ears. And I want to be a big cheese so I can earn a lot of money every day. And the last response to that was, come on, stop building castles in the air. Okay, so here, this also provides me input for, springboard for discussions the following day. I can also provide feedback to the work submitted by the students. But they get to produce that not in a very traditional way of doing that, in which he asked students to just say it and provide, for example, samples to what he asked them to do. But here you are involving all the senses, and the students are challenged to be creative in submitting their work to you. So the other sample that you're looking at now, it's a submission from a student who was extremely happy sharing this in the class, all because his mother was with him in that comic strip he created. Sample three, some responses that I require students to submit is in the form of a drawing. You will discover that the class is a bunch of students who are creative and artistic. To help our students understand the significance of the content and intensify their motivation to learn and stay actively engaged is to bring the course material relatable and meaningful by applying the concepts to situations that students are already familiar with. So Class Dojo allows students as well, and it allows you, teacher, when you assign a task to the students and you want them to be submitted in a form of a drawing, you can also click that right in the response types that we have discussed earlier. Okay, so these are samples. Now for sample four, some tasks have to be accomplished in my classes and submitted as a group. So students are drawn into a learning environment that is engaging and interactive, and with real-world examples and an emphasis on teamwork. Assigning them a task to be accomplished as a team is providing them the opportunity to connect with classmates that they would not have otherwise. They get to find new learning buddies to study with, and it helps them to grow their networks. They get to strengthen their individual capabilities as well as discover and turn their weaknesses into assets. So the sample that you are looking at now, that was last September, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm here in the Philippines and my students are there. I requested one of the team leaders to take a photo for me to be able to ensure that the students are into the task that I have given them. Actually, I can also see them from the big screen because this was done synchronously, but the output has to be submitted using Class Dojo. So here's an example of a group output from group 3 about a task requiring the group to create simple instructions with illustrations to be submitted in the video format to Class Dojo.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Group 3's How to Cook Instant Noodles instruction. We have 6 steps to cook instant noodles. The first step, you'll need to choose the flavor of the instant noodles that you like. For example, the red cooked beef, seafood flavor, or any flavors that you like. Today we choose the seafood flavor. The second step, you need to boil or put water that used to cook the instant noodles. The third step, you should open the cup cover and take the seasoning bags out. Some instant noodles also have the vegetable bags or sauce bags. You also should take them out. The fourth step, you need to add all of these seasonings to the instant noodles. The fifth step, you should pour the boiling waters into the cup, and the heat of the water just should just be 1 centimeters above the noodles. Then the sixth step, you should cover the cup with things like books and wait for 3 to 5 minutes. Then the instant noodles will be cooked and you can enjoy it. Thank you, sir.
So as you can see, my dear teachers, Class Dojo has a lot of fantastic features that we can use to manage our class and engage our students. I encourage you all to explore Class Dojo and share its wide variety of features that you found engaging. It has been a significant component of my classes, that is so easy to use, engaging, and flexible. So I cannot imagine a virtual classroom it could not work for. Before I end, allow me to share with you screenshots of our virtual classes. So for our spring semester, our students were at the comfort of their homes, but for fall, when it was safe to return, they all came back to school. But a lot of us, their professors, are still based outside of China due to travel restrictions. Fellow educators, students who feel safe and are made to feel that they belong, meaning there is a sense of belongingness. They know what is expected and understand the deliverables, and they contribute and participate actively, are students who are engaged. They are more successful and they perform better than their uninterested counterparts. So I hope that you learned something from this presentation today. Again, to Doc Kel, our beloved CEO president, to my Asia Pacific Association of Educators Training Institute family, and to all of you, Madam Ogid nga salamat. Stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless everyone.